Okay, here's the first side all buttoned up, and I have to say I just really, really like the rubber tired wheels so much better than the plastic stock. I think it makes such a difference. Um, there are a couple of issues though that I had with these, and the first one was, now these came with bearings. These road wheels came with bearings in them. Okay, now here's one that I haven't touched yet. All right, now that's a 3 millimeter hole in that bearing. Okay, and that's a 5 millimeter shaft right there. So obviously it's not going to fit. Okay, if I get a shaft that'll fit through this hole, it's only going to be a 3 millimeter shaft. What size fastener am I going to use in that? If I use let me check one of these and see how big it is. These are, even if you got like a 1.5 millimeter fastener, that's only going to leave you like 0.75 millimeter wall thickness. Yeah, that's a 3 millimeter diameter on the, or excuse me, 2.5. Yeah, it's got a 2.5 millimeter outside diameter on the screws. All right, and you're only going to have a 3 millimeter shaft to get through that bearing. So you've got a 3 millimeter shaft that you want to put a 2.5 millimeter screw into. I'm not sure what the minor is on that, but it's not going to be less than 2 millimeters. So you're still, your wall thickness. What I'm saying is that the strength of this piece, if you put that on there with bearings, the strength is going to be minimal. I can see those snapping off real easy. Your wall thickness would be so thin, it'd just be ridiculous. So I determined that the only real solution for me was to just remove the bearings, and then they fit right on the shaft. And as I put everything together, I used this dry graphite. Okay, so they do spin really nice. And another thing you have to watch, on the front and rear road wheel, you have the shock absorber that comes down and attaches to the suspension arm. Okay, so you want to be very careful to reuse the same screws. The problem is, I don't know how well this is going to show up on video, and even this is a little bigger than what I was using, but I don't think it's going to focus right. The dark colored one is thicker, all right? Not by much. But if I use this dark colored screw in there, what happens is it rubs against the back of the rubber tire on the road wheel. And it's not anything huge, but it's going to tear up the tire, and it is friction, and we don't want that, And I can't get the track enough to make it spin. But by using the screw that came off there, it has a really, really thin flange on it, and it just clears. And then if you have any trouble, if it still wants to rub a little bit, you can take about 1 millimeter off the end and still get good rotation. And it'll bring that spring, or that screw head in just enough to where it won't rub on the tire anymore. And that's both front and rear where you've got those shock absorber screws. So keep an eye on those, and make sure to, whatever lube you're going to use, I recommend dry graphite. Definitely lube these things up as you go. And I think I already talked about how the robo grips work really good for putting them together. So I still got to do the other side and change the electronics. And once I get it all buttoned up and stuff, we'll take some video of it outside. Till then, we'll see you next time.